Hey guys, oops. Welcome. I actually I redid this video. I was getting phone calls, so I just redid the whole video. I want to shuffle the cards again. I want to ask you guys how you're doing today. I'm making this video because a lot of people have definitely been having some hard strives along just doing everything when it goes to work, when taking care of your family, when talking to your friends, when trying to solidify a deal, when making sure that someone's okay and checking in on their feelings with their friends. And so everyone's been going through like this tough period where maybe things feel a little stagnant, or you could feel friction, or you could feel like maybe this is not my right path because it's not going smoothly. And I will say that sometimes things are harder than a lot of other times because the resilience is what builds the character. And you can also see what needs to be aligned and readjusted in your life. And so I wanted to come to you guys today and just kind of share what's been going on. I know that a lot of the times when we go through these things, it feels like we're alone, but I do want to say we're not alone. We just don't communicate with each other. And so if you guys, again, if you like a personal reading, contact me on Not Your Average Coco on Instagram and send me a DM. It's usually down in my details below the video. But I just wanted to get started and just kind of say thank you for watching. And let's get down to the bottom of this, okay? So let's go ahead with our prayer. Heavenly Father, ancestors, spirit guides, and protective angels, thank you so much for waking me up today, waking us up as a collective, everyone being present and wholehearted. I appreciate all the abundant substance and love that you give us on an everyday basis. Thank you for giving us the knowledge and the perseverance to move forward. Today, I'm going to be doing a reading for the collective. And if you can give me the messages the most clear and the most accurate of what exactly is happening, I would appreciate that. I love you so much. And if you're not called upon, you're not welcome. Thank you so much again for being present and giving us extra hope, because there's a lot of things that are happening right now that I feel a lot of people can't explain. Life is going a little bit too fast for them, or maybe their brain just needs to be calmed down. But I appreciate you for giving me the message to relay to them, and I'm ever so grateful. Awesome. Thank you and amen. I wanted to start off by saying I know things seem really hard when you're not going through it with like a group. And I feel like when you are going through hard times as a group, and a group meaning like if something's happening at your job, it's affecting everyone at your job. If, if there's three people in the house, and maybe you live with someone that just like, gives everyone a hard time, it's almost like, okay, well, all of us are having a hard time, not just me. And so it is a little bit easier going through things together because you do have a little bit of support. And so today I just wanted to start off and just, say that. So we're here with you. I'm here with you, helping you get the information and just kind of like, push forward, because we all need a little bit of push sometimes, and we all need a little bit of help. So I do have the strength card that came out first. Again, remember I said that perseverance of you having to just have the energy to push forward. It is building a lot of character, but it's showing you what needs to be changed. It's showing you maybe you're not looking at things in a different light. So it feels like this is like a hardship. A lot of the times as people, we like to work all the time. And with working, there also needs to, like, what's the opposite of working? Not working, obviously, that would be rest. And you have to have the rest. You have to have the time for yourself, or you're hiding away all of the aspects that you need to work on yourself. And so when something happens to you, and I'll put it this way, I'll give you an example. So if you have a car and God's like, and you've been using your car a lot, and you've been doing things with your car that, obviously you didn't promise God, like, God, when I get this car, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing this. And when you don't do things like that, God will be like, sit down. Spirits will be like, sit yo down and focus on what needs to be focused on. And that also looks like as you're going through life and you're working a lot, if you don't take that rest, literally God will put you in a position for you to rest. And a lot of people don't like to rest because it feels like there's nothing going on. There's not movement. People are doing things without me. But, you know, live to the beat of your own drum. Don't let other people push you or force you into thinking that you need to be doing something just because they're doing it. And a lot of people that I feel like I work with, and not necessarily I work with, but I've also worked with in the past. Sometimes I'm around people and they're doing something all day. They're like, if I stop, like the whole world's going to fail. And I don't feel that way. I feel like if people are relying on you to that extent, it could be enabling them as well, because what you're doing for them, they're not able and capable of doing it for themselves. So again, people need to learn. And that's why sometimes in life, things get a little difficult or things change, because it just needs to change because it's too much overexertion on your part. It's too much of you caring. It's not enough sleep. You need to go back to the self-love and self-care. And that's where the strength comes in, because telling somebody no, or telling a job no, or just saying, hey, I need time for myself, that's going to be way more beneficial to you than going along with the rat race and just going in a circle. Like, there needs to be rest, and I don't know and I don't care when you need to take it, but it does need to be taken. And so what else do we have for the collective? What other messages do we have? I also have, look, the Hermit. Hey. And so with the Hermit card, again, that rest, going inside, thinking, wanting to not be around everybody, wanting to be in the place of void. And that's how I see it, because when you're in the Hermit, look, he has his light. He knows which way he's going, but his head is down. He's focused on his next step, like one step at a time, rather than a flashlight and just walking blindly, you know? And I think that this is important because, again, you not taking the time out to take care of yourself in the long haul, you're going to be tired. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to feel like the things that you're working towards, that they have no end. And then two, you're not going to see the fruits of your labor because you're always working. So take time to just love yourself and celebrate yourself. And even if you need to be away from everyone, that's okay. But take the time out ever so often, so you don't have to take, you know, a whole week off from people. You don't have to take a whole month off. If you do it periodically, then you won't have to do these things and it won't feel like it's the end of the world. What other messages do you have for the collective? Nice. So I also have the Nine of Pentacles. That has a lot to do with, again, yourself, giving back to yourself. She's very fruitful. She has all these pentacles that she has actually grown in, like, her yard. This is just a very prosperous card. And I do want to say that when you take care of yourself, you're able to take care of others. And I don't know if you can see in all these cards that there's not other people in these cards. It's just them taking care of things, like, you know, taking care of their demons, taking care of a negative mindset, taking care of, you know, you're focusing back, like, on your goals. So you have the time to do that, but you're also by yourself. And then also giving back to yourself and being fruitful and making sure that everything that you need is right there in front of you, but you need to take the time out to figure out what you need. Okay. So tell me about, okay, give me more information. Well, we'll put these up here because that's its own message. What other messages do you have for the collective? Any other messages? Okay, what other messages do you have for the collective? Okay, that one didn't turn over. Okay, so I have the Temperance here. And I really like the Temperance card because it does show you, like, an equal give and take. Like, it's all about balance. 1 foot on land, 1 foot on water. Giving back, like there's a triangle. So it's just like, it's really good balance, but it's also knowing when to give back to yourself and to give back to other people. Any other messages for the collective? Okay, we also have the Queen of Cups. So I do feel a lot of you are Just emotional right now and just kind of down and sad and wondering when's the next time, you're going to be able to get up and take the baton and just run full force. I feel a lot of you are hiding emotions inside that you don't even let your partner see or your friends see. It's almost like, I don't want to say Jackal and Mr. Hyde, but it's almost like sometimes you're really emotional and really sad. Other times you're a go-getter and you're willing to just race through things and get it done. I think with that, maybe the emotions need to be resolved, and that's why you feel there's almost like two versions of yourself instead of it just being merged into one. It's like, okay, I'm super emotional about making these decisions, but I'm the one that's the shot caller. So it's almost like you're emotional to make decisions in your life because you don't know what the outcome's going to be because you are so emotional. And again, taking the time out to just kind of figure out what you need here with like the Hermit card and figuring out like what your goals are going to be, that's going to be the best way for you to get out of this mental fog. What other messages do you have for the collective? Some of you might be emotional over your kids. Your kids might not be in good health right now. Some of you might be emotional over, I was like, some of you have multiple kids. You guys are emotional about one of the kids. And this is a very specific message. You guys are, or I'm not sure who I'm speaking to, but this one child, you keep them closer than you do the other child. But you also feel like you need to go to work. You need to take care of them. Like, it's just so many needs that you feel that our needs are pulling you in so many different directions, and you're doing it all for your kid. But what's the most important to children is the parents being around, showing them that they can be happy, showing them that, showing them that they can be themselves and they're okay and content with being themselves. And the only reason why I say that is because kids don't know about work. They don't know about the things that we go through in life that, taint us as adults. They just know that, hey, I'm here. And a lot of the time, as a parent, you have to understand that you make their whole life. Like, they wake up and they come to you for a task to do, or for, an answer, or to even feed them. So it is like whatever you're feeding your children, it is a program for them. So figure out where your program is for your child and figure out what the program is for yourself so you can get up off of your knees, stop crying, and not saying that, everyone's in this place with this. Again, this is for someone specific. Stop asking, and oh my God, I don't want to say this, but stop asking God for everything when you have the choice to change. Like, we are gods as people. We represent our life in every manner, what we dress like, what we look like, how we treat people, what we, take in from people, like all type of different aspects. And so when I say, like, get up off your knees and stop asking God and stop asking, why these things are happening, there's things that you could actually physically do that are going to change your outcome and change the relationships with people and change the narrative, and certain type of goals will change if you apply yourself. And if you don't know how to apply yourself, that means you could go out and read books, and it doesn't matter where you start. And a lot of the time where people get into this, it's almost like they put you in, like, on this pedestal. They put some people on a pedestal because of how they think and how they help them defog their brain, or like debunk like things that are happening like inside their brain. They're like, oh my God, like how could you even, like, think of something like that? But for the people that give the information, sometimes it's a prophetic word and sometimes they're getting a download or it's being channeled. But a lot of the time, these people are studying, they're going out and reading books. If they feel depressed, they're reading on depression. And if they are spiritual people, they don't take the natural route of saying, hey, I have depression. This is what people do for depression. Let me go to a doctor. Let me go to therapy. Usually people who are spiritual and have this information that you guys find so keen and valuable, they're trying things. So they'll read a book, they'll read a spiritual book, they'll read like why people get depressed, but also they're reading what makes people happy, what makes, them happy, what type of, how are they changing. They really do a lot of self-evaluation, which I feel a lot of us need to do to get to that next point in life. But a lot of us don't, because, it's almost like the woe is me. We can't always, rely on prayer. Sometimes after prayer, God's trying to set you up for something, but you got to leave the house. You got to have conversations with people who are, not in the same mindset. Sometimes you have to go out and show God that you're willing to work on yourself so God can meet you halfway. And let's see, what other messages do we have? And that was with the Queen of Cups, but I do feel even men right now are very emotional when it comes to what are they supposed to do. And I feel a lot of men are also focused on how they could be in a relationship, or how they can get this from such and such. Or I feel men are more focused right now on the material gains in life. And I get that that's something that helps your ego and something that people were conditioned to do. But you holding in all those emotions, it shows that you don't know what to do, and you're not necessarily in that God position to make executive decisions, maybe for the woman that you're with, maybe for the child that you're with. And at the end of the day, it comes down to how are you applying yourself when you're not at work, or you're not just in chill mode? How are you applying yourself in the sense of being better and being there for other people, showing up and being there for yourself? Also being creative, but also, focusing on selfishness a little bit. And I know it's a lot of things to do all at the same time, but we're living as people and we do a lot of things. We talk on the phone and drive at the same time. So just look to see look to see what's going to benefit your life, and see what steps it takes to get there, and just focus on one at a time. Some people can focus on 5, some people can focus on 1, but you just focus on, whatever that next step is for you. Any other messages that we have for the collective? Okay, so I have the Page of Swords. And again, I was just talking about cutting small things out. So the Page of Swords lets me know that there's a lot of mental fog that's happening. There's a lot of, okay, I want to try something new, but I don't know how to execute it. But you're still stagnant. Like, you're still in the thought, you're in the process of thinking about it. But what will help that is, a lot of people think that people who just eat vegan and plant-based are kind of like stiff and like, they're better than other people, and you want to be a vegetarian, do that, like we're supposed to eat. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. Usually people who are plant-based have better cognitive function. They don't have cloudiness of eating snacks and eating, and I'm guilty of this because I've been eating a lot of snacks lately, but there's not the mental fog of them trying to figure out what's good for them or making a quick decision, because the fuel that they're putting in their body is DNA. Like, fruits and vegetables have DNA in it that help our body just work at a better capacity. And that's 100% true. You guys can look it up. But what the Page of Swords is saying, the reason why you have so much mental fog is because when you're sad, you overindulge in snacks and candy, and maybe you eat out a little bit more when you're stressed, and doing things like that. And I do want to educate you guys, when other people cook your food and they're not in a good mood, or you don't know what their energy's like, and if they don't really fucking love the food that they're cooking in front of you, most likely you can get that type of, like, you can feel what the person feels when you eat the food. And that's why sometimes it's better to cook at home, because you know that it's made with love, not somebody who's getting paid $18 an hour who hates their fucking job, and now they're flipping your burger over and it's all over the place. And so that type of energy goes into food. Food attracts the energy that you put into it when you make it, because you're actually creating something out of nothing, and you're changing the molecular structure when you cook it. So think about these things when you feel sad, or you feel depressed, or you feel like, you don't want to go on anymore, that the food that you eat also plays a big part in your attitude and with the mental fog that's happening here. Because what needs to happen is taking out a bunch of shit that just doesn't serve you. And I hate to say it, but a lot of people are holding on to things that they don't even care that it's in their life anymore. They just want to say that they have it, maybe because another person doesn't have it. And they're thinking like, oh, well, this is something that makes me special. But it's like, it's been how many years? Like, start to revamp your life in a new way. I know we like to get on this binge of I'm working on myself, I'm gonna keep working on myself, then things get hard and then you stop working on yourself. But there's two options. You can either go back to the drawing board and try something that's a little bit easier to you that makes sense, or you can push through and persevere all of these situations, through the depression, through the hard times, through people not understanding you, you being by yourself, you feeling alone. Now you're depressed again and you're in this cycle, and you can stay in that cycle and you can finish whatever goals that you want to. But I will say at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, because I will say at the end of the day, you know what part of you wants, your mind wants to be tired, your body or your soul wants to be tired. And that's what happens when you push through situations and you don't understand why you're pushing through, when God's telling you to wait. God's telling you, hey, maybe you need to wait on this, or I'm fixing something on this side, so you just wait here while I'm fixing whatever's happening on this side, and then you can continue with what you're doing. But a lot of the times, because we're people, we just think that go, go, go is the option. And then when things don't go your way, you're thinking, oh, this must not be for me. But sometimes you have to be patient so the whole picture or the whole play can, you know, be before you, so it can be presented in a certain type of way. It's like doing a school project and no one else in your group is a group of 4 people and no one else in their group has done their work, and you decided to do your work and you're waiting for everyone else to get their work done. I mean, if you did the work, kick back, relax, you know, you can start a new project, start a new hobby, do something that you like, but don't wait on other people to finish their work, because when the assignment is due, you're going to still get the credit. That's what I'm going to say. The teacher's going to look at you and say, you know, this is the group that I told everyone to be in. Only one person did their work. And now, and the teacher would be God. And now you and God are having a conversation instead of you, God, and the other people. Because sometimes God does not always put you in a battle by yourself. Sometimes God says, hey, team up with this person so you guys can execute this. And, you know, it is a lonely journey because we do have a decision, but we have the decision to show up. We have the decision to play our part and make things great, to make it easier for other people. And when you don't play that part, you're making it hard for everybody. When you're the person that doesn't do the assignment, doesn't do it on time, doesn't, you know, do all these things, you're making it harder for people, and they have to pick up the slack for you. And then as they're picking up the slack, you're looking at them like, oh my God, you're just so strong and you did all this, but you're the person that put them in the position in the first place. So again, don't get so caught up into thinking like, this is what I'm doing, these are what my goals are, I'm going to execute it this way, because sometimes it doesn't play out that way. And sometimes it's good to just have multiple goals or multiple things that you can work on. There's always something that we can work on. When it comes to our mind, body, and soul, there's always something that we can work on. But don't get into the habit of thinking that because this isn't working out right now, it might not work out later. Or because this is not working out for me right now, it must be, you know, everyone's fault who I was with, and everyone who like I put in on this project, it's them that's lacking and I am the person, you know. So it's part of our ego. That's all right. But I'm just giving you the extra reminder. Okay. And any more messages for the collective today? I'm going to pull 3 more and then get into the oracle. Any more messages for the collective today? Okay, so we have the Fool. Okay. Any more messages for today? We also have the 4 Cups. Any more messages for today? And the Chariot. So, off the bat, this is telling me that the Fool, the 4 Cups, and the Chariot, there's a new situation that you're not like happy about. And I'm not saying that you're not happy. It's just one of those things that might actually be giving you a hard time. You're just like, I'm just not really feeling this. It could be a relationship. You're just like, oh my God, like, how do I get through this? How do I communicate with this person? And I do want to say that just listening to your intuition, because you have like this little white dog that's in the corner. He also has a flower in his hand, pretty much super magical, but it's also something where the Fool just goes and wanders and just does what he wants to do. And because there's so much, ambition and like newness in the Fool card and just ready to explore and ready to take on the next journey. I do feel that a lot of us sometimes we usually all are in this energy when we want to start a new project or date somebody new. But then you forget when you go through the journey and you go through these goals and you know, are in this relationship or you start this new job, there's responsibilities that come with that. There's ways that people can actually get caught up in thinking that things are easy, so they keep trying new things. But okay, so this is an example. You got hired at a job. You're like, oh my God, this job's wonderful. It's going to be great. You find out you get the job. It's not what you thought it was. So you quit the job and you start applying for other jobs. And then you get another job. And then you're like, okay, this should be my dream job. And then you start to work at the job and you're like, okay, this isn't it. This isn't it. So you're trying out a new, so I have two perspectives of that. You wanting to try new things until it works. Fantastic. I think that that's amazing. I think that everybody should do that. But on the other end, you're not thinking in the long run that, first of all, any job that we have is going to have some type of work that comes along with it. It's also going to have some work that we might not like all the work. We might want to be a social worker because we want to help people, but then, you know, you don't like to do admin work. So it's kind of like set yourself up in a way that you can succeed by actually thinking in the long haul. And that's why some people, not even some people, a lot of jobs or mentors or people who are trying to help you, they try to say, look at what's happening, look what you want to do, what are your goals, you know, try to problem solve for like the next 5 years. And the reason why that's important is because if you're just going to job to job to job to job, you're like, I don't like this, I don't like this, and you don't seek anything out, then you haven't built any foundation on pretty much anything. You're mental is obviously shot because you're always going through these cycles of, okay, this isn't working for me, what do I need to do? Instead of sticking through it and figuring out how you can problem solve and get past like these troubled areas. And then also with the Four of Cups here, it's almost like God has given you someone to kind of rely on, but you don't use them because maybe you think that they're too busy and they have a lot going on in their life. But maybe you guys are supposed to use each other in a different way, because this is hitting for me. Oh my God. Okay. We won't talk about it. But God is giving you, because you are in this new energy of, okay, I'm willing and I'm hoping that things work out for me. You know, your energy is a little bit lighter, so you don't actually have to, you know, feel any dread. You know, you're ready to move on to like the next thing. God's probably going to give you something that you feel like is not a blessing, but it is a blessing. But my advice to you is just to keep moving forward. And I was telling you guys up here when we were explaining that sometimes things don't feel like it's a blessing, but it's also you moving forward and working your way through situations and finding out what works and what doesn't work, and, you know, trying to problem solve. Those type of things are actually going to build character, so you know what to experience. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I tell people a lot of the time, the only difference between millionaires and people who are not millionaires is, and billionaires as well, is the exposure of knowledge that they have. A lot of us don't get to experience enough, or we feel like the information that we're learning. And I'm that way too. Like, I'm guilty too. I feel a lot of the time when someone's giving me information and they're not explaining it fast enough, how is this helping me? You know, but it's the mindset. We need to switch the mindset. And after someone's done talking or they're trying to help you and explain things to you, think of what they said in whole and just be like, okay, I hear this. I understand that. This is something that I feel like could be helpful in the future. And sometimes God uses you for other people. So when you get the information is not for you. The information is for someone who actually needs the help. And now you're a help to them. And now that they can help, now because you gave them information that you got from somebody else, they can help you because that was the missing key that they needed for, you know, them to help. Or maybe they want you to be in on a project or something like that. So I will say, whatever you guys are feeling right now, there is going to be a change of events where you're going to be more hopeful. God's going to bring you a gift. It's not going to look like something you're like, okay, I've already had this before. I'm tired of having this conversation with this person. You know, like, what is something new that's going to happen in my life? But my advice to you is to move forward. And please explain the Chariot card. What are they moving forward? What are they moving towards? Okay. So it looks like you're moving with all of your burdens and you're just moving forward. Like when you get the information, you're like, okay, well, I don't have time to add this extra stress in my life. So let me just look, because that's him right here. And we have the world at the bottom, look, or the wheel of fortune at the bottom. So if you focus on yourself, it's definitely going to go in your favor for sure. If you focus on yourself in the right way, but you know how to show up. So again, this is going to be, hey, do you want this offer? It's definitely from, spirit, from source, because no one else is carrying it. And you're just like, yeah, I tried that. I'm moving forward, because depending on how much information you have on whatever this gift is or whatever this person brings to you, you're going to know if it's for you or if it's not for you. And let me get a confirmation on that. I'm gonna get confirmation for you right now. Also, my video is going over. So, ooh. Okay, those didn't turn over. Can I have confirmation, please, Spirit? Yeah, look. You're going to be talking to people, and I don't know why that card, you're going to be talking to someone. You're going to be like, okay, this is just not for me. You're going to be like, okay, you're going to have like self-conflicting thoughts. You're going to be like, you know what? I thought about it for like a while. You're going to, I think someone's going to come up to you to have the conversation for sure. But in your head, you're like, okay, well, look, this is getting me in a place where like, if I do this, this will happen. But if I do this, this will happen. So you're going to have to make a choice. And talking to people is going to help, but just be advised of the people that you tell, because sometimes with these people, look, make a choice, because sometimes with these people, they are here to confuse you. People don't know. So a lot of the time when we ask other people, we don't know. And that's why I say use your little intuition that you have here. Use the guidance and use the voice that you've been using this whole time. And yeah, get it together. And I can't do the extended. If you guys want an extended, just let me know, like in the comments, and maybe I'll set something up later for like extended videos. But we are running a little bit over time. It's been 30 minutes and I didn't get a chance to do like my self-care cards, but I will let you know what day this should be happening. Love these cards. Love these cards. And I'm going to let you know around what time this will be happening. So Spirit, when is all this like change going to be happening? Because I'm not saying it's not going to be gradual for you guys, but everyone's so beat down right now. Like we're all so beat down and just like, oh, what is it? Like, what do you want to tell me? What is the information? That when they tell you the information, you're just going to decide to move forward. It's like, okay, well, that's good. Okay, let me get all my shit and all my swords and get the hell out of here before it turns into 7 swords, 8 swords, 9 swords. And so, Spirit, please tell me what the Dark Mirror deck of when this will be happening. Spirit, please tell me closer to the date of when this will be happening. Not numbers. I'm going to be using the moon on these cards. Okay. All right. This is the last one. Then I'm going to just flip it over. Spirits, is there any messages of when this will be happening for the collective? Thank you. So it's going to be, ooh, what's today? There was just a new moon. So it says anointment. And look, she has like all these swords in her back. Oh my gosh, it's almost like the 10 of Swords. Oh my gosh, are you going to be so tired when you find out this information? Let me look to see what it says. All right. It says, sorry, most of this book is like, the back is in Spanish. Why would they do that? Why would you do that? Okay, so it's going to be waning gibbous when the moon is almost at a full moon. So this will probably happen in the next like 2.5 weeks. It says accepting the full burden of responsibility, the fair as well, the unfair, with no discount. And then it says going dark. Atonement is about paying the bills, and adulterated, unfiltered, not negotiated. It is about full and open acceptance of consequences and a little more. It is also about paying the price of others, letting go of all the ifs and buts and taking it all in, whether it's ours to take or others to shoulder. If you have a piece of what puts fault, if you have a piece of what puts you at fault, normally you will try to separate it, weigh it evenly with what makes the other at fault, and with what you made and what made and with what you made it right, a little for a little, but really does it move anything forward? Sometimes we need a clean slate, and it's done by going through it all, paying more than is due to create closure for yourself, others. You take the dark in so that others can stay in the light, even if they don't deserve it, even if you don't deserve it. Oh, that hurts my heart. And that lets me know that around this time, a lot of you guys will be just sucking up the burden and just, just fucking doing it. So I'm proud of you guys. To be honest, I know it sounds horrible, but sometimes, I say it's either a self-sacrifice or it's either like we both come to an agreement or I'm self-sacrificing. Like if we both can't, get to the next and understand each other, I will most likely self-sacrifice myself to change the narrative and change the situation. So I hope you guys like this video. If you like more of my readings, yeah, message me or leave down in the comments what you'd like to see next. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.